Dose of Hope, day 296. So nice to meet you and nice to see you again. So a daily dose of hope is just that. It's just an attempt to help you stay in that middle path. You have the yin and yang symbol, and there's two sides, there's two polarities, but then there's that middle part. And we're trying to find that middle path. We're not jumping into fear or anger or judgment or sadness. We're just trying to see all the stories playing out and understanding that they have to play out, but we don't have to get emotional about it or judge anything. We just see it as it's playing out and understand that everything is playing out for our own good. And if we can learn to have gratitude and see all of these things and how they're helping us. And so kind of seeing everything from a higher dimensional perspective. Something that yesterday, the mystery guest, who I think her name was Fiona, I'm not sure, she was talking about blended sight. So blending your third eye with your physical eyes. So using your other senses when you're seeing. When you use discernment, not just using like, I'm not sure, I feel, but actually looking and trying to see what is it that's really happening here. So I was guided to do this back in February of 2024 to come on every day if I could. And I've been trying to, not every day, but almost every day, sometimes. And yeah, so what I'm going to do, just talk a little bit about something and then jump into the channeling for today. I just wanted to talk about how I came to be where I am now. So I think it was around 2018. I took a class in Reiki, and in Kyoto, that's where it started. So I lived close to Kyoto, so I was like, oh, I'll just go study Reiki in Kyoto, and I did, and it kind of opened up something for me. Now I've always had feelings, I've always had things on my head, and I've been searching always, like, what is this feeling? I always get these feelings on my head, and I used to ask everyone I met, do you get that? Do you get that? And very few people would say yes. But recently, since I started this channel, I'm finding there's a lot of other people, and I'm realizing, sorry, my cat's in the background, like, he's crying, let me in so that I can be let out again, such is right, life is a cat. But so, so I had these feelings, but I didn't know what they were. But now I understand that you're picking up on things. It's your crown chakra is picking up. It's a crown, and you're just picking up on all the different energies. And I realized that for me, what this is, like I think the most natural gift I have is the gift of empathy. Empathy in that sense, not empathy, I guess it's not the right word, but being able to pick up on emotions in a room, understanding what the emotions are. So before everything happens, like before a big argument happens, I'll pick up on it and I'll feel the energy, and I'm just like, whoa, okay, I gotta get out of here. Hey Kathy, and hey TT Tracy. TT Tracy says Suki rules the roost. Yeah, so Suki's the name of my cat. Yeah, she rules the roost. Just that. So, but up until that point, I had been very interested in it, but I was very afraid to go into any of this stuff, into channeling or into these things, and because of the climate of people around me. And I imagine a lot of people have had that too, where just whenever these conversations happen, people get really kind of angry and mean about it. Like, oh, anyone who believes in that is just, crazy or whatever, all these things. And so it just was like, oh, okay, I really shouldn't talk about any of this stuff. And so I had to keep it like under wraps. And even people close to me, I couldn't really talk about it. I used to talk about my dreams all the time, and people would always get really upset. Like, oh, all he talks about is his dreams. He's living in his dream world. What is he doing? But for me, it was the most fascinating thing imaginable. I mean, look at this. This is another world that's happening. But I think right around 2018 or something. I think it started around 2012 when I started kind of really seriously meditating again. And then I think 2018 is when something kind of shifted, and then in 2020 or 2019 or so, I was doing all these like musical things. I had like she's in the background again. ruling the roost. Um, but I had all these musical things that I was working on. I had a few groups and I had these commissions and I was working on all this stuff, but I was really unhappy with it. Like I just didn't feel like it wasn't, my heart wasn't in it. And so I decided I'm going to quit all of those groups and I'm just going to take a break from all that stuff for a while. And I started practicing channeling and studying channeling and studying sound healing and beyond quantum healing, all these different things. But yeah, so I think it was a slow journey though. It's and now, even now, like I can't really talk about this stuff with many people. You just judge the conversation, like, can I? Nah, because some people get really visibly triggered by this kind of stuff, and they just, there's so many different trigger words in there, and they just, like, you're trying to talk about one thing, but they're stuck on this one idea, and so, no, I wasn't even talking about that, but that's how it works, right? And so, but yeah, you just have to judge it. But yeah, so we all have our different paths and we all have our activations. And so that was the point for today, I think. I do have a point. Is that all of us are working on a different blueprint with different activation periods and different activation times. And so, for example, for me, that was the time. It was all kind of built into my blueprint, and for all of you as well. I'm sure all of you have similar stories where you just, it slowly kind of builds into something, and then you find yourself already like, wow, where am I? And TD Tracy says religious programming runs deep for many. Yeah, very much so. The religious programming and also the program. Another point too, the programming against spiritual stuff. Which is really interesting. Like everyone's was really into like New Age, and I think New Age was all about that. Was they would blow up all of these different things that are happening and make them seem really nice and get all these people interested in them, and then like relegate it to like it's just crazy people, and like all these different things like astrology, or tarot cards or channeling and all these things, right? People get visibly triggered by it, but it's just like most of the religious figures that started these religions were doing the exact same thing, and so it's just like, but I think it's just a good way of controlling people, because if everyone was in contact with their guides, yeah, you probably wouldn't really need to go anywhere. Wow, Suki's going nuts out there. As soon as I started the video, that's when she started. Before, she was nowhere to be found, but as soon as I pressed play, it's just like she's at the door, like, hey, I want to be part of the action. But yeah, anyway, that was, I guess, something I wanted to bring out. I think it's really difficult, or not as difficult, but still difficult in these times, because many people around me would still, say, or probably are saying, like, he's cuckoo, and I'm fine with that. That's fine, I guess, that's how it works. I mean, I've always been a little bit not normal, so cuckoo sounds good, I guess. So without further ado, I'm going to go into a channeling, and I recently, there's this movie from 1994. It's called Stargate, and I just started watching a bit of it, and the funny thing was that, so this came out in the news just recently. There's a new program called Stargate that's going to be started, and this one is kind of like an AI program. I'm not quite sure what it's all about, but so yeah. It was just interesting because I was like, oh, I've been really thinking about watching that movie, and then all of a sudden this Stargate thing comes up. So the synchronicity was interesting. So today I want to ask about Stargate. This Stargate, what's up with this thing? So, for example, for me, getting this Stargate idea, and then, oh, thanks, Kathy. Love and appreciate you just the way you are. Thank you. The cuckoo way, right? So, but yeah, so ask about Stargate, and yeah, what's going on with that? Tell us more about this, if it's possible. We are here, and we are that one that you know of as Isis. And we have not been here with this being for a while. We have been away in that sense. Well, what we would say is that this being has been away. His energy is moving further away from us and more into a different energy. Um, we we had a connection, a strong connection with this being, and that was part of his blueprint, as he calls it, part of his plan in order to understand. He has come to this planet, as most of you have, to understand all of the different facets of your world. And I am one facet of your world. And this is one reason why we wanted to come through today. So all of you understand this idea of portals, this idea that you can go from one place to another. You do it all of the times in your dreams. In your dreams, you think of one place and you're automatically there. You are transporting yourself from one place to the next. And that is how these portals work as well. Most of the time, for all of you, if you're able to increase your energy enough, you don't need an external portal to transport yourself into another place. This is just another one of the functions of your bodies that you are capable of doing even now if you would work at it enough, if you could purify yourself enough. But yes, so what is happening though is that your dimension is rising. Many things on your planet are being revealed. And so what we would say is that this word, this Stargate word that has come out for this being and come out into the mass consciousness that was seeded from that movie and many other movies as well, is a part of what you might call disclosure. It is part of revealing what has already been there. And as you know, this technology is not new and it is not very advanced. We might say it has been in use for thousands and thousands of years. And this technology is being revealed to you, being unveiled to you. As this being often says, there is a movie that is playing out for all of you to see, a movie of the revealance of all that was hidden. And in this movie, it is important that the movie is easy for you to digest, to understand. If it is too much and you get triggered into going unconscious, you won't be conscious to see the movie. And it's very important that all of you see the movie. This is all for you, for all of you, in order for you to make the decisions that you need to make in the coming times, where you will be frequency-wise. All of these things are being shown to you. You might call it a test. We would just call it as a way of finding out where you are. And if you call that a test, that's fine as well. But it is not necessarily a test in the way that you think of as tests. It is just a way of understanding where you are. And so that is where you need to go. Wherever your frequency is where you are going. If you are in fear, you are going into a place of more fear. If you are in sadness, you're going into sadness. And that is all. You set the frequency. You set the tone of your world. No one else can ever set the tone of your world. It is up to you. No matter where you are, no matter what situation you are in, you are the one that can set the tone. No one else can set the tone for you. That is your pure and utter will, your deep down will. It is very, very powerful. And it is your God-given gift as well. All of you have it. You can set the tone. You can set the frequency. What frequency would you like to go to? Which portal would you like to enter? Would you like to enter the portal of love, or would you like to enter the portal of fear? It is all up to you. And that is what this is coming to. That is what this Stargate is bringing about. The revealance of all of the things that have been hidden. Yeah, okay. Okay, that was kind of a new kind of style. I'm getting a little ting here. They're like, you stepped over a boundary. I'm glad I didn't snort. I found recently that I'm a snorter when I laugh. I inherited from my aunt. I thought, like, I'm never going to do that. I remember as a kid, I'm like, I'm never going to, like, if I laugh wholeheartedly, I snort. You know, but I saw my aunt and I was like, nope, never going to do that. And then like a few years ago, I'm like, oh my God, I'm a snorter, you know? So I've joined the group of snorters. I'm on a support group of snorters. Sorry, I've gone too far. Kathy, you say Stargate is one of my favorite movies. Oh wow, that's very cool. Yeah, it's just first time to ever hear about it, like a few weeks ago. Yeah, it was on my feed. Sorry, I'm digressing a bit. I'm just going to digress a little bit more, and then, but when I was in, I was studying audio engineering, and my friend, she was like 1 year ahead of me, and she introduced me to this guy. So I was a big fan of the psychedelic furs when I was a kid. That Caroline Coles and it's raining all day. You know that song? Maybe you don't. It's from the 80s. But the psychedelic furs, and the bassist from the psychedelic furs was her friend, and so she introduced me to him, and it was just, I was like starstruck. Whoa, you know. And he said, you know, you got to come see my band. It's called Feed. So that's it. That's my story. But Feed, yeah, it was on my YouTube feed. So yeah, wow, I'm really digressing today. TJ Tracy, very interesting on the naming of the new U.S. directive. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, right. Why Stargate? And exactly that's why. Right. It's the story. Yeah, the revealing of everything, and what a low budget science fiction film we're watching. Kathy, you say the Snort Club. Yeah, Snort Club. It's a good club. Everyone wants to get in, or no, everyone wants to get out. Oh, sorry. All right, I'm gonna call. I gotta reel myself in. I hope you guys are hopeful, um, and hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks, TT Tracy and Kathy, for joining in. Yeah, and I hope you guys are doing well. We'll see what's going on with this whole Stargate thing. It's pretty interesting. And yeah, ciao for now.